Thank you. Just imagine, how it was carrying this thing in the metro this morning. Yeah, my name is Karim Al Malki. I'm incredibly excited to be here. So, I'll talk to you about private 4G and 5G, the core solution, because we make software, core networks that are the key technology element that are required in private 5G networks. Athonet has quite a long history, but I'm incredibly excited to be here today because of the announcement last Friday and the acquisition of HPE. I'm incredibly excited, of course, because I'm one of the founders. That's easy to understand, right? But it's really a no-brainer if you think about it. Combining the best edge compute and Wi-Fi with a leader in private 4G and 5G networks that has implementations all over the world is really the best we could ever ask, right? This has been a long time in the making, a long journey, but now we're here and have a massive market. Everybody's talking about private 5G and 4G. I mean, everybody's talking about 5G, the revenues, the issues on how to make revenue out of 5G. And it's clear, it's going to be business. It's going to be the enterprise. It's going to be the transportation. That's how money is going to be made. And private 5G is how that can be made. And with HP, we can deliver exactly that. This is, in fact, a complete 4G, private 4G network. I'll tell you about some of our implementations rather than the technology, because I think this is what is interesting. The French police actually has been using this for a while, and this creates private networks wherever they are needed. Just imagine the application, how easy it is to create a 5G network wherever you need it, right? In any enterprise, be it a mine, an enterprise, a port. So what does Autonet do? We built, and this is where it always sounds, when there are relatively small companies, it always looks like an overnight success. We've been in this business for 18 years. We actually won 5 global mobile awards. A relatively small company, but with quite a good history. In fact, the photo comes from 2019. We won 4 global mobile awards. We're the first company that created a mobile core for private networks that was zero touch, a hybrid cloud, partly running in the cloud, partly running at the edge, and that could be deployed in minutes. Auto configuring, auto installing. What Autonet does is software, and software that feels like Wi-Fi. Once again, what a perfect combination with HPE. And it's meant to run in the cloud, hybrid cloud, partly in the cloud and partly at the edge, or fully on-site, because some of our customers are mines or airports that need the full network to be on-site. Some other customers are perfectly happy with a cost reduction that can happen by using hybrid cloud or a fully cloud deployment. It really varies, but we've built a software over the years, starting with 3G. Our first product was 3G. We then built 4G, and now it's 5G. Going through the various generations, we've learned, we've adapted, we've built better and better products. As you know, it's very hard to build a 5G product from scratch, unless you've really built a 4G. And maybe even better, you've built a 3G before that. So we feel we have a very, very solid, and our customers feel we have a very, very solid proposition. And it's easy to deploy. And these are real deployments that I'm talking about here. This rucksack here is used by the French security forces. This is how, in an emergency, you get coverage. When everybody's on the phone, the networks are fully overloaded or they're damaged because of any sort of an attack. This is what can create an independent network. And if you want the more techie terms, the IMS, the complete core, the complete radio, everything where you can run voice over LTE, anything you want, directly just with this. It's got a battery pack in it. It can run. So it can scale. Our software can scale down to very small numbers of users. But it can also scale up. We're talking about mines, schools, thousands of users. We're talking about stadiums, events, where their connectivity is critical. You need to give connectivity to the various stands. There's a security layer that works very nicely with the Wi-Fi, because the Wi-Fi is used by the people visiting the stadium. You need another layer, a secure layer, to do things like the credit card information and so on. But these networks can scale up, as I mentioned. We have over 500,000 SIM cards running in Italy, covering a completely private IoT network, maybe one of the biggest ones. We're talking about all the EV charging stations, right, in Italy. So if you can charge your car in Italy and disconnect your car and leave, it means our network is working well, and that is mission critical, right? Because if it were to go down, and that's one aspect and one critical feature of Athonet, the mission criticality, and the way we've architected the software. And that's because of our software. We're talking about the whole utility network, substations, network substations that are hundreds of thousands of substations that convert, voltage to connect medium to low voltage to reach our homes. These need to be monitored. We're talking about Paris Airport, right? Every time, the next times you'll be there, you'll know that there's a 4G network running there, and the 4G is using Athonet's core. And it's being used for all these, processes that are impossible to do without reliable connectivity. You've got a baggage on the plane. You need to have someone go in and pull it out because the passenger hasn't boarded. And how do you do that unless you have reliable connectivity inside that goes inside the plane? And that's where private 4G comes in. The port, automated container management within a port. Lots of metal, moving objects. It's very hard to do it otherwise. And we have other industrial deployments. This is with Telecom Italia in Italy on IoT and industrial automation. So Athonet is really very concrete. We're not talking about theory or a product that is about to come out. We're talking about something that is in the field and has been used for the last 10 plus years. Our first 4G network was, I think, 12 or 13 years ago. The whole solution is made to be able to auto-deploy and orchestrate thousands of networks. That's the whole point. You are supposed to be able to deploy a network in every mine, in every office for a large corporate. IT-friendly, very simple to deploy and use. This is not the old telco mentality, right? We were talking about legacy earlier. This is not the old telco mentality. This is an easy dashboard, easy to use, easy to deploy. It's open. It's compatible with multiple radios. So this is especially true for our service provider customers who have their choice of radios, and we can just adapt. We are compatible and deployed with most of the radios in the market today. We're flexible in terms of the architecture. You can place the components wherever they are best for the specific use case. You don't need any complexity. It's just standard. And just think about what we can do here, right, with HPE in terms of orchestration, in terms of an incredibly powerful edge that is easy to deploy, and GreenLake. Carrier grade, I've mentioned that already. Fundamental networks need to stay up, otherwise and this is a real case, you can't drive away with your car, right, unless our network is up. So fundamental, and we feel this is one of the strongest characteristics of our product. Full control. This is software fully built in-house. We're not using software stacks from third parties. This is not someone else's core. This is Athonet's core, built over many years. So it's not only us saying it, but Athonet's received a number of awards over the years. International Critical Communication Awards, that is the forum that the critical communications world, where all the critical communication applications are awarded. We're talking about the GLOMO, which you all know. In fact, we have a potential sixth. I don't want to jinx it, but we have a potential sixth this year. And we won 5 Global Mobile Awards, in particular for our mixed hybrid cloud deployments, which are really important. We were the first company to actually show that you could easily adapt to enterprise needs, make a self-installing, easy-to-deploy solution. And with that, I'd like to thank you and invite all of you to our stand and to see some of these products and try to carry this. It doesn't weigh, it weighs quite a bit, so. And thank you.